Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Holy Shift Show. What is shifting for you today? In your life, in your calendar, on the inside, on the outside. You're invited and you're here. Gee, you're here either watching live or replay, and I am so happy that you're here responding to this invitation to talk about Oh My Invitations. Today I have joining me Dawn Knows Sarah.
Hi.
And Rain Dowell.
Hello.
And I would be introducing Dennis Deuce, but I hope he's on his way here. In which case, we'll introduce Dennis Deuce when he shows up. You know, in Hangout land, you just never know how things are quite gonna go. And you always have the opportunity to say, I really can choose how I want to frame my experience. Do I want to frame it with fear? Do I want to frame it with fun? And today we are going to have fun. Here's the man.
Sorry, better late than never.
Mr. Dennis Deuce, I am so pleased that I get to introduce the Deuce. So, Dennis, where are you hanging out from today?
I'm actually hanging out from my house instead of my office.
Okay.
This is my kid's room, my home office.
And isn't that wonderful? You see, as Hangout hosts, we get to do that. I'm actually hanging out from my home too. This is a converted bedroom. It's got a pretty piece of fabric on the wall. You know, we get creative. Anyway, we are here today to talk about invitations. Yes, I'm kind of like Johnny Carson being Karnak the Magnificent and holding a envelope up against his head, only this time you just get to read what the things are. So today we're going to talk about invitations, holiday invitations, invitations to Hangouts, invitations to respond to life from our inner guidance. And if you will notice in the word invitations, right in the middle of it are the letters VITA. And those letters suggest to me life, stuff that's vital. Even sometimes they call life force energy vital energy. How's your vital energy today, Rain Dowell?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Hey, Dennis Deuce, how's your vital energy today?
It's vital.
It's vital. Dawn Knows Sarah, how's your vital energy today?
It is at the top of the world, thanks.
It's at the top of the world. Okay, so when it comes to invitations, and on Hangout invitations, we get to decide, am I giving to this Hangout invitation or any kind of invitation a yes, a no, or a maybe? And clearly, we have to decide at some point how we're going to give the RSVP. And sometimes we get clear, we want to say yes. We're saying yes to our yes. Sometimes we need to say yes to our no's because, we're clearly feeling, nope, that's not something I want to do. That's not something appropriate. My calendar's too busy. But to get clear, to get connected to your guidance, your core stuff, your place of wisdom that might, even though your conscious mind might not see the whole picture, maybe that inside part of you does. And so how can you connect with that inner wisdom? Well, I would like to suggest to you, as many of you have heard, very often if we do some conscious breathing we can center really quickly. So perhaps by saying yes to your nose, would you like to, Hangout audience, take a minute with me, and Hangout panelists, and just take a minute to just center, take a deep breath in through your nose. And another deep breath in. Yes, I know. And if we were saying yes to our no and being fun and funny about it, we might go, yes, and no, ho, 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 ho. You know, I had to weave the laughter into here somehow. And also tell, all the folks that have never seen me talk about laughter yoga or anything, you just take a deep breath in, you do a long exhale, and you just expel all that air. So try this once again with me. When you want to get into that centered, fun place, Are you having fun yet? Okay. All right. Let's get this discussion started. As I said, I have my wonderful Hangout guests with me. I have Dawn Nocera. I have Dennis Deuce. Dawn, for those who don't know the wonderful Dawn Nocera yet, Dawn, just tell us a little bit about you. What you like to do, what's fun?
That's a great question. What's fun for me lately is Hangouts. I'm actually having a great time hosting Hangouts. I host a weekly empire building hangout where we're really connecting to the ease and the fun of our business. Oh, and of course I like to hang out with you, Elaine. So that's what I'm doing for fun.
Okay, great. And Dennis, I would have done introductions, and read nice little ones, like the one I've seen up in the details, but, I forgot to print them out. So, Dennis, just tell the audience a little bit about who you are.
I'm a creative. That's at the core of anything and everything, probably including the fact that I have 8 kids. Oh wait, anyway, and I love to laugh. I really connect with that part of you, Elaine. I love making fun of and light of just about any situation I'm in. It's usually the easiest way to handle things. And I'm an HOA producer, both for myself and for a company called inVITAtions that does online marketing for charities and fundraising for charities. My entire job there is HOA production.
That's great. So I know we'll be hearing more about that in the future too. And now bumping on over to Rain Dowell. Rain, I am so appreciative that you helped me with production things for this Hangout, and you're my wing woman, and you will be bringing pertinent comments by visitors watching today. But tell us what you're doing. I mean, recently you said you're on this fantastical journey, kind of reinventing your business. Just share a little something.
Well, I can't share too much, otherwise the launch will not really be a launch. So, what I was previously doing before was helping small businesses with their branding, building them websites, teaching them mostly the basics of social media for people that did not really use social media or understand how the offline and the online are related. So yeah, I was doing that, and then in doing that, I sort of fell into something that I really do enjoy. So I'm just working on that right now. So you will definitely be in the loop. I'll keep you up to date on that.
That's great. Okay, so let's now get into this discussion about invitations. It seems to me that November and December, at least here in North America, where a lot of people celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah, I mean, there are just lots and lots of extra invitations. You know, how do we handle those? And I might just jump first over to you, Dawn, because a lot of this really relates to then managing a calendar, doesn't it? So how do you handle your calendar and invitations, particularly at this time of the year?
Great question. First of all, I always look at my calendar as a sacred calendar, and that it's a sacred contract between me and my spirit, saying that this is absolutely what I'm going to do. If I write it down in my calendar, I'm going to do it. So if I get an invitation, it has to go through this whole process of, is it going to make the cut to be on my sacred calendar? Am I willing to make a commitment to be 100% present to being at this event, whatever it is? And if it's a yes, it gets on my calendar and I will be there. But I don't put anything on my calendar that's a maybe. There's no maybes that go on my calendar. I used to do that, and then my calendar got so cluttered, and I wasn't in a space of making a real conscious choice of what I was doing. So you might get a ton of invitations. You may not go to all of them, but that's how I handle it.
So I knew we were going to talk about this before, so I made up some little things. Sacred calendar. Knowing that I like to wordplay, you can rearrange the words in the letters in sacred, and you can get scared. You know, I know a lot of folks, me within them, I am not really good at calendar management yet. And I have, a calendar for how I manage things with my mom and dad, and things, and then my laughter yoga things, and then all my Hangout and G+ things. And I feel like I'm struggling with managing them. Now, I'm not exactly calendar, but I imagine some people even feel scarred. And so it would seem to me, if we're recognizing that we have issues and conflicts coming up about how we do time management, we might need to address that so that we don't get hung up by replaying the tape. Oh, I didn't handle this well before. I didn't handle this well before. I didn't handle this well before. And then, do something. So I'm really curious for people who are listening, either live or replay, how are you doing with your calendar? Do you manage it well? Are you finding you need to do some different strategies? And Dennis, as I get on to talking with you later, especially when we're talking about Hangout invitations and how they kind of land in our calendars, some of the better ways that we can address some of that stuff too. But Dennis, how do you handle your calendar and your invitations? And my goodness, if you have 8 kids, 8 kids, oh my gosh. How is that for you?
Well, so parts of my calendar management is done really well, and it works for me. I mean, it may not work for somebody else. So our kids are ours, hers, and his. And so I have a calendar for all of Cheryl's kids. And then we have a calendar for my 2 boys from my first marriage, and then another calendar for my daughter from my 3rd marriage. And that helps us to keep those things kind of on track. but it also helps them to get notified of stuff we need them at. And it makes it easy for Cheryl and I to look at it. Oh, this doctor's appointment, we don't even have to put in the name. It's, this kid or that kid because it's in that calendar. I have been struggling with management of my HOAs because as a way of supporting other HOA producers, I answer yes most of the time. And I need to do that for a couple of different reasons, but the problem is that Google automatically puts that in your main calendar. And I haven't found a way around that. If somebody knows a trick around that, I'm always stoked to learn new things. But I have been thinking, I've got some Google Plus accounts I don't really use that much. And I've been thinking that maybe I'm going to say yes under one of my other Dennis Deuce accounts, so that then those are showing up only in that, not my main Gmail account, because it gets a little much. Yeah. And because of what I do and the way I do it, I mean, I love what Dawn is saying. Say yes or no, and when you say yes, be sacred about it. That's awesome, except I'm kind of the central point for my entire office of any HOAs that are interesting. And so we have a big screen TV up that shows the HOA calendars, which is at this point just my Gmail account calendar showing on a weekly basis. But so, all of us have different things we've got to struggle with. And yeah, I'm currently, calendars is something I'm trying to improve on.
Yeah. And so in G+, in Hangout land, a lot of Hangout hosts do like watching other shows. We learn from each other. Google Plus is such a wonderful collaborative community. And so we are often finding ourselves say yes and maybe to many of them. So we're speaking to you. If you are having tips or you are having awarenesses about your own calendar management, related to invitations, receiving them, extending them, responding to them, we really want to hear from you. We'd love to see comments in the comment stream now, or if you're watching on the replay afterwards, because once again, this is what we get to do with each other. We get to learn from each other. Rain, you have been helping with production on quite a few different HOAs, and from where you sit, what are some of your reflections on this invitation stuff?
Well, when I first was found HOAs, I just found them such a plethora of information and learning. So I just absolutely loved them. Now what I'm tending to do, though, is I'm being a lot more selective. Like I may really like a certain host and really like the style of their show and what they talk about. But having said that, now I'm being a lot more selective on the topic they're talking about. So, for instance, if it's on SEO, well, there's only so many shows I can watch about that, and then I feel like I need to focus on something else per se, right? So now I look a lot more closely at the topic and what's going to be discussed on that HOA to determine if I think there's going to be something that I'll be able to really take away and learn from it. And from those, and sometimes I'll say yes to it. My calendar, I agree with Dom, my calendar's sacred as well, but there's really no way for me to sort of bookmark, and maybe that actually is a way to do it, but there may be an HOA I want to watch, but I won't be able to watch it live. There's just no way I'll be able to watch it live. If I've got other commitments. So what I will do is put it in my calendar, and then at the end of the week, I'll go through, and whichever ones I didn't watch, I'll try to watch them over the weekend, and then be able to, be able to ask questions or leave comments or do that type of thing. So, but I have gotten a lot pickier about which ones I'm actually going to say yes to, because they go in your calendar and that's it. Looks like we've got a quick comment here from Dave Moore. I just wanted to bring it up for you, Elaine. It says, okay. Did you want to read it, Elaine?
Let's see. It's today. It's showing up not with it's showing up over your face. This is something different in Google Land. But I can't read it. Dave Moore says, it's looking fun, Elaine Nieberding, and I'm still winding down from Switzerland, and I can put my feet up and feel the shift as you provide TLC, today's laughter care. Well, yes, we did throw in a little laughter exercising at the beginning of the show. So, Dave, I hope you're watching and laughing along, and I wonder how you're doing with your calendar. Rain, what you said reminded me that when I go back to watch Hangouts on Air that I have said yes or maybe to, but haven't gotten to watch live, what I will often do is really stroll through all the comments. If there are a lot of comments on a show, it is a good indicator that there was some dynamic engagement there. And sometimes, by reading the comments, I can get a sense, if I have a limited amount of time, I might want to fast forward to the middle part of the show for the particular type of discussion or comment. And then that's really helpful. Or sometimes, if it's a new Hangout series, with someone just a little bit more novice, well, then I want to watch. I want to see how they're doing. I want to pass along a little encouragement. And there might not be so much in the comment stream, but then I'm basically just going to pay attention on the inside. Yeah, it's worth supporting this other person. Put some comments in, and even, as Hangout hosts, if we've watched a great Hangout, we can share the event afterwards publicly to bring more attention to it. So those are some of my thoughts about how we can, respond. Let's see. Yeah, Dennis.
So, on what Rain was saying, I actually have a tool for that, which is ironic because it's not a tool that works for me, but it would work for what she's trying to do. She's using saying yes to be able to come back to the shows she wants to see, but she wants to keep her calendar sacred. Set up a circle called HOAs to watch later. And just put yourself in it and no one else ever.
Oh, nice.
Share the event with yourself. This does two things. One, it helps the host because actually the reshare of an event is a more powerful social signal than a yes.
Dennis,
So
Dennis,
yeah.
Dennis, hold on a minute. I want you to backtrack and say that again very slowly for the listening audience.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay? Because, we want these Hangouts to not only be entertaining, but really get what your pointer is and hear it in a way that they can actually go and implement it. And if there's someone watching, out in Hangout land, type it in the comments for the benefit of the others who are catching this later. Okay, shoot, Dennis.
Okay, so the idea is you just simply create a new circle. Okay, I have one like this that I call Read Later. But I'm actually thinking now that Watch Later or HOAs to Watch Later is a new circle that I need to create. And you just create the circle like you would any other circle. The only difference is it's not an outbound circle. It's not an inbound circle. It's an egocentric circle. It's all about you. Okay? And you're literally just putting things in a place where you can find them later. So you go into the event. Here, do you mind if I screen share?
I'm happy for you to screen share. This makes it a very educational Hangout on Air.
Okay, so let's just take today's event, which I'm watching the comments from today's event. Okay. Oh, the share. Yeah. So share event right here. And I don't, when I'm sharing it to my read later circle, I don't even put a comment because it's just for me. But I just go read later. See, that's a circle right here called read later. I click on that and I share it.
Nice.
Now I can go back into my circles from right here. So if you don't know how to get back to your circle, some people don't know how to look at particular circles. You just go into people right there. That's going to bring up this page. Sorry, my computer's running slow today. Please forgive. And you go to your circles. And then you can scroll through them. You'll see I have a lot. So I'm just going to type in read later. Oh, it's not coming up that way. Okay. Oh, here we go. Read. Not coming up that way either. So we're going to just scroll through it. So down here, I can come into my read later. They're not in alphabetical order.
Dennis, how many circles do you have?
Oh, I have hundreds. I really break them down. You'll notice, look at the number of people. There's two people in a circle, 36, 10, 8. I don't have large circles ever. The only large one I have is following, which everybody that I follow goes in there. And then later, as time goes on, I put them in other ones that they fit with. Huh. I can't remember where read later is. But I only do it about once a week at the most.
No, it occurs to me if Ronnie Bincer can chat with the Hangout developers and the Google Plus developers. Yeah, if there was a way for circles, you could push a button and it would alphabetize them. And similarly, when you have people who are invited to your Hangouts and you have your invitation lists, oh my God, it would be so much easier if those would default to like alphabetical.
Well, there's actually reasons why they aren't all alphabetical automatically. And that is the way in which Google Plus is written. It's set up so that your feed is controlled by the order of your circles. So the higher up the circle is, the more likely stuff is from that circle to show up in your feed. So unlike Facebook, you control your feed by your order of your circles.
Oh, really?
Sense? Yeah.
What's the order of your circles?
Yeah. So here, now we're way off track. Do you want me to go down this rabbit hole or not?
Well, I want to thank you, Dennis.
Because this is actually what I talked about in yesterday's. You and I talked about my little 5-minute HOA series, Elaine. Yeah. This is the piece of circle management I dealt with in yesterday's show, and I am going to be putting into the event the feed for all of my daily HOAs plus my series that I'm doing right now of circle management. But literally, I did about a 7-minute show yesterday showing how to change the order and why it's important. And you can put them all into alphabetical order, but that's not the best way to manage a feed.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Dennis, I am clear that when I open up Google Plus and I'm going to look at my stream, that then at the top it'll have my circles in the order I have prioritized them. So if I have one moved on up to the top, and I have that one clicked on, or the ones whose streams I want to look at, they'll be kind of showing up that way. So it is indeed a way of setting priority.
Yeah, and the algorithm takes into account also your engagement with a person. So somebody that you engage with a lot, now that piece is similar to Facebook, somebody you engage with a lot that is in your second priority circle could show up ahead of somebody that you don't engage with very much in your first priority circle. Okay, so it does balance that a little bit, but you do have quite a bit of control by the order that you put them in. So things like read later are really low down because I don't want it affecting my feed. It's only me. I really don't want to find stuff I posted in my feed. That's weird.
Okay, now a lot of this speak has really been most understandable for people who are, have been on Google Plus for a while, have been watching Hangouts for a while, especially Hangout hosts. But I want to kind of weave the conversation back to the larger thing about holiday invitations. And I hope we haven't lost all the people who aren't really heavy duty into G Plus yet, because we've mostly been talking about G Plus. But Dawn, just let's talk about getting back into feeling into the flow of the holidays, and and kind of setting our intention in advance. How do we want to be feeling during the season? If we take a moment, if we pause to reflect about what we'd actually like to be experiencing in these last 2 months of the year, deliberate about that, if we're intentional about that, and really tune into the feeling elements, we're a lot more likely to not only attract the right kind of invitations to us, but be able to respond to the invitations from the point of spirit, wisdom-guided clarity. Just extrapolate on that.
Well, I think you did a great job. There's really not a whole lot to add to that. Setting an intention is a great way to set yourself up for what you plan to experience during the holidays. And yeah, I set an intention for the Hangout. Like, my intention was to invite spirit, to be here with us while we're hanging out. And I thought, that's an intention for an invitation that I received and how I'm going to show up. And I think through the holidays, I'm not looking for spirit everywhere I go. Sometimes I just want fun. My intention is fun. My intention could be to experience peace, to experience, and I definitely enjoy having conversations about things that are much deeper than just what are you getting for Christmas, or what are you getting your kids for Christmas, or what do your kids want for Christmas. There's a whole gift giving thing, but to really set yourself up for what you're preparing to walk into. And of course we know through psychology that once we set our intention, we're going to see it. It's going to show up everywhere, spiritually, psychologically, and physically. So, yeah.
So, Rain, are you looking forward to the holidays? How are you looking at all this year, given that this is a time when you're kind of recreating your business?
Yeah. I look forward to all the different seasons and the things they bring. To me, it's not necessarily about holidays. It's tobogganing and skiing and snowball fights and stuff like that.
Remind the folks of where you're hanging out from, because it's way up north.
Yeah, we're up in Canada here, so yeah, we get a little bit of snow in the winter, and so yeah, we tend to see. Actually, it's really funny. I was just at Norquay, which is a mountain here, one of them, and a little while ago, and we actually get a lot of Australian students, a lot of Australian exchange students up here that work at the ski hills, and so they've never seen snow before.
Wow.
So, yeah, they've not seen snow before, and a lot of them haven't, and so they're pretty excited and they just get into skiing and snowboarding and all the things to do with winter sports. So it's really interesting, and it's fun talking to them.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the clock now. We're at 2:36, and so it may have been one of those quieter days in the comment stream. Maybe Rain, is that the case today?
Yeah, we're quiet at the comment stream today.
Okay. Well, for those of you who watch later, please share. Please comment, either from Google Plus or from YouTube. These do live on there, and I do want to mention to folks that if you ever want to know what's coming up on future shows, if you simply hashtag Holy Shift Show on the Google Plus line, the posts will come up that either link you back to the event pages or the information about the previous shows that we have had, or this one. And once again, we are trying to grow the flock. Flock on, flock on, flock on. What I would like to do, I would like to give each of my panelists just an opportunity to share, is there a takeaway? Is there a new awareness that you've gained from our discussion today? I'm going to circle around to each of you, and then I'm going to circle around to each of you again, just so that you can, share some of your upcoming events and stuff like that. But Dawn, your takeaway for today.
My takeaway for today is, I don't even know if this was easy is a yes. I know you said that before, but I just will keep posting that up again. And yeah, that's it. Easy equals a yes. And fun equals easy. I like that one too.
And so, yeah, deciding it can be easy by connecting with, your comfortable way of gaining your clear decisions. Yeah, that's good to do. Okay, Mr. Deuce.
Yeah. My takeaway today is definitely the your calendar is sacred concept. It's not possible for me to make all of my calendars as sacred as I think I'm hearing that Dawn makes hers. But I certainly can make my main calendar more sacred. And I'm going to work on that. That's my takeaway. I need to be more cognizant of my own needs in what I'm putting in my calendar.
Yeah, nice.
Cool. Okay, and Rain.
Really, really good stuff. Yeah, because it is about honoring your own time, and the time that we're, that we get to have here. So I really liked what Dawn had to say about your sacred calendar. And Dennis, that was a fantastic idea to create a circle for HOAs to watch later, because now that helps me to make my calendar more sacred. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm full of it. I mean, full of them.
So I want to, my takeaway is also this thing from Dennis about creating the circle to use, just related for sending, for resharing events or posts, sending those back to that particular revisit circle. Yeah, that's just stellar. That's just stellar. Okay, I would like to remind folks that it was just about 4 weeks ago when the Holy Shift show debuted with the show that we called F Words. And as you can see, I bring them forth time and time again. And of course, this one is my favorite, flock on. In fact, dear Mia Voss has even been hashtagging this when I bring it up, and so I love that. Flock on. But while I don't have my guests arranged for next week yet, I did get clear today that next week the show's topic will be another F word, and that is family.
Aww.
Once again, as we approach the holidays in the U.S., Thanksgiving, we are spending a lot of time with family. I know I have loved expanding my connections with my G+ family. And I have another big family of professionals and friends who are involved in the laughter yoga, the laughter wellness movement globally. And, you know, I'm brainstorming on, like, how do I bring them on over? How can I involve them on Hangouts so that we can grow that health and wellness movement? So I may be bringing in a couple, you know, laughter professional people next week. I don't know, I might be asking Dave Moore to join me again for F Words. So we'll see who's going to be on the next Holy Shift show. But I'm going to circle back to Dawn. Dawn, you have this empire building system to help encourage people to find the businesses and grow the businesses that really love and are expressing that core of stuff from the inside. And you have something coming up on November 19th or something. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. It's a 2-hour workshop where I walk you through just answering the questions. It's really a walk through activating your intuition to help you connect with your business at each stage of going through your offer, your marketing, sales, you know, even expansion. And we go through and we talk about the calendar, but going through each one of those steps in a way that we're activating your intuition by asking great questions. And it's a 2-hour workshop, and you can find it on, if you go to dawnnocera.com, which is on the bottom of my screen, and if you click on the, I think it's Grow Your Business picture at the on the sidebar, you'll see it. You'll see the link for that. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and it's 2 hours, and it'll be packed full of helping you do that, activate your intuition, and I'll share with the people that are in the workshop just the things that might stop you at each step of the way, because there's different invisible fences that show up at each step. So thanks for letting me share that.
Good. And Dennis, you are creating now a new series of mini Hangouts that are little tutorials and helpful things, and for each of us, you know, growing in our skill in engagement, in producing shows, connecting with larger audiences, trying to magnetize people to us. There's always stuff to learn. So just tell us a little bit about how people can find those programs.
Well, Rain already put a link to one of the shows right in the comments, and I'll put it to some of the overall feeds after the show is over, so that you can get a larger picture of some of the little micro how-to. I'm calling them micro HOAs, and starting to try and push that hashtag. I'm not the only one doing micro HOAs, but I'm hoping all of us that are will start to use that one term and tie all that information together. So yeah, the links are going to be right in the notes, in the comments on the event, and I'll also, for those of you who are watching this later on YouTube, I'll go in and put the same links into the YouTube link. So just read the comments right down here, down below, if you want to follow any of that stuff.
Okay. And the other thing I want to mention, Dennis hosts or helps produce a couple series, and those can be, all of those can be found through his profile. The links to them, the one with Get Busy with Kit and Jim, I believe that's one of them.
Yeah,
and then you have
part of the team.
Right.
And then I do produce Wednesday mornings the pandemic code HOA, where we break down why certain things have gone viral, and we take a particular thing and delve into it each week. This week's show is what we call our 6-week deep dive, where we talk more about the science of memetics. So we're not picking a topic, we're just talking about memetics and as a science how it works. And the Network Roundtable, you're going to be on it this week.
Oh, fancy that.
Yeah, Friday, 12:42, Network Roundtable.
And that's 12:42 Central Time, Mountain Time?
Mountain Time. Yes.
Mountain Time. And my friend Robin Holland is going to be my sidekick. Yeah, you know, this is probably another topic for another Hangout on Air, but is the whole superhero thing getting a little bit overdone? I'm finding superheroes like everywhere. But yeah, but you know what? I'll claim.
Claim
superhero. Yeah. I think by and large there's a real deep science or philosophy. It's more of a philosophy behind why we call our guests +1 superheroes and +1 sidekicks on Network Roundtable. And you know, that makes me think. Stephanie Sims and I need to make a little 5-minute micro HOA on that subject. We get asked that all the time, so I'm going to make that happen.
Okay.
I don't have to answer it right now, but no, it's not part of this whole meme on superheroes. No, we have a real deep meaning behind it.
Okay. Rain, I just should give you an opportunity. You are on Melanie Hall's show, Lights, Camera, HOA, and any other ones you want to mention. Hey, these are good shows. This is what we do. We're providing value. We're providing value.
Yeah. I really enjoy Melanie's Lights Camera HOA show. That was the very first HOA I was on, and on the very first one I was on, that I was petrified of being on camera. She asked me during or right after the show if I'd like to co-host. So it's been a wonderful experience to actually continue on, and there have been times where due to she's had some dental operations she's needed to have done, and so Sheila and I actually produced the show when she's been away. So that has been a ton of fun, and it's wonderful welcoming people who are new to HOAs, because a lot of us think that it's the technology that sometimes holds people back, but I don't think it's so much the technology as it is the trepidation of actually being in front of a camera. So I think it's really important to have some place where people can just have fun, and it's not an hour-long show, it's only a half an hour, and they can just be eased into seeing what they look like in an HOA. So it's a wonderful opportunity to get introduced to HOAs and how they work and what they're all about. So, yeah, that's every Monday, and we have a ball. We just have a ball. It's a lot of fun.
So thank you. Okay, wrapping up. I'm 5 minutes over. Ha 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 ha. No, 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 no. I should be doing naughty, naughty laughter at myself. But anyway, so once again, Holy Shift Show. Episode 4 is winding down. Today is 11/11. Oh, it's not 2011. It's 2014. When you add up, if you're a numerology buff, and you add up 11/2014, it reduces down to 11. Okay? 11 is like a portal, you know? You can walk through that portal of new experience. And so when it comes to getting your invitations, to things coming up and extending your invitations, just walk through that portal, connect with your inner wisdom, however you do it, so that you can make the right and the most helpful choices about where to put your attention in the days ahead and in responding to all those invitations. Do join me next week. That will be November 18th for the Holy Shift Show, Episode 5, where we will be doing Growing Family. It's all about family and growing family in G+. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Since we don't have a huge comment stream, we're not going to open up an after-party hangout, but we do on some shows. Please join us again, and thank you, everybody, out in G+, Hangout, and YouTube land. So long.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.